Race 4 on the card is an MR78 handicap over 2,000 meters. Being an 8-race program, race 4 is the first leg of the first jackpot, second leg of the pick 6 and Warren. To my way of thinking, a very, very difficult race. I've narrowly gone for number 8, Arrow's Mark. It's nice to see the Paul Gatsby stable now starting to turn out the winners. Lots to like about his form, lots to like about his last win. Little to choose between him and Gentleman's Wager and Run to Denmark on best form, I guess. Smart Socks comes in with a chance. I also like a bit of number 14, Mighty Smart, which is now reserve 1 because we've already had a scratching number 6, High Green, which means Samsonite has come into the race. So one more scratching and Mighty Smart will come into the race, and I think he's got a bit of a chance. Great Warrior, Don't Look Back. These are all horses, Warren, with a chance. But how did you see the race?
Well, I think let's not waste too much time about our first choice, because I'm with you with Arrow's Mark, and what's even more encouraging about Arrow's Mark is Muzi has ridden him once for a win, so he's 100% strike rate on this gelding by Path Fork. Paul and Beth Gadsby, as you say, coming good now, and we're going to follow them with great interest. So Arrow's Mark's our first choice. You like Mighty Smart if he gets into the race, and we will certainly talk about that in a second. I'd like to your opinion on number 1, All the Way Up, because for me, I'm going to be having a few places on All the Way Up. Last time was a 88 handicap, drops to a 78 handicap, and it wasn't the worst run behind Tilly Angus. There's been 5 runners, 2 winners out of that form line. There were valid excuses. He cast his right hind shoe. He's had 2 wins, both have been on the poly, positively drawn, so you can make a bit of a case for number 1, All the Way Up. I'm going to be taking some swingers and some place bets on him. But you like Mighty Smart if it gets in the race. Tell us why.
Well, if you go back to July, Arrow's Mark was a winner that day. Mighty Smart carried 62 kilograms, Arrow's Mark 59.5, and yes, there were 4 lengths between them, but Mighty Smart is now 7.5 kilograms better off with Arrow's Mark for that. And you know, and he's always promised a little. He was only 3 lengths behind Gentleman's Wager last time out. He's slightly better off at the weights with Gentleman's Wager. That's why I say they're very closely handicapped. They're handicapped to run very closely. This should be a blanket finish. And even the horse you mentioned, number 1, All the Way Up, has a chance. In fact, the only surefire way of getting through this leg of the exotics is to include the whole field, which I have not done. But try to narrow it down to 6 horses and hope and pray we get through with the 6 horses. But yeah, it's a very, very tricky race.
Okay, yeah, it's a tricky race. It's a 78 handicap. They're going to go 2,000 meters.
One other horse we must mention, which
yes.
I didn't. I mentioned a whole lot of names there that come into the race. Great Warrior, Don't Look Back, you mentioned All the Way Up. Roy Psycho, I thought he was rather injudiciously, with respect, I say rather injudiciously ridden last time. He went very, very fast early, was still in front at the 400-meter mark, then compounded late to finish only 3 3/4 lengths behind Arrow's Mark. And he loves this poly track. He's won 3 times and been placed second 4 times. So he's another, with Lyle Hewitson in the saddle now, that's got to come into the reckoning with a chance. So this race is wide open.
Okay, speak to your bank manager, see what he'll let you spend on this race. But Graham and I are narrowly in the camp of number 8, Arrow's Mark, because as you heard, it is tough. And if Mighty Smart gets in, Graham will be having a little swinger with that. And All the Way Up is in, horse number 1. I will certainly be having a few swingers with that. But number 8, Arrow's Mark, is our first choice.